I don't know what it's like to be a pro athlete and have a restless night's sleep before a big game because you're so excited, but that's kind of what today's show is for me. Very excited for the start of today's broadcast as I was called out on another radio station, entirely different company, for no reason by Mayor Quentin Lucas. Out of nowhere, taking shots at yours truly, who's only been back on the radio for 2.5 months. We're going to play that for you next and address that on the broadcast. Also today on Uncanceled, it's great to have you with us. We're going to talk some taxes and the new budget proposal that's out there that's going to be great for gig workers. Clearly, it may also be good for retirees and hustlers, like people that want to go out and earn extra money. Like you just had a baby, you need to work overtime, get a second gig, whatever it may be. And I am in love with the gold card. Not the one in my wallet that I've had for 30 years. I'm in love with Trump's gold card. We'll get into that. We're going to mention Missouri's basketball at the end as well, as they were just phenomenal last night in an easy win over South Carolina and a resort in France that I will never be visiting. I can assure you. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's France. It's not a shot at France. I'll tell you why this resort is out for me. And they have a golf course and a beach. And I'm not going. But we start today with the goings-on and the shenanigans, the typical shenanigans of Jackson County, Kansas City, Missouri. I can't lump the state of Missouri into this, although Missouri's record as a state is horrible with keeping teams. They may be known around the country as the state that loses teams. They lose a lot of teams. We've lost the Kings and the Scouts here. They've lost the Rams in St. Louis. Football comes and goes, comes and goes. We lose things in the state of Missouri. They're known for it. There's a reason why. Even people who are rooted in Missouri have left Missouri. But a lot of it has to do with the simple principle that when Democrats are in charge, people get hurt. Or maybe a gentler way to say it is when Democrats are in charge, people lose. That's pretty much where we are right now. So in Jefferson City, either still going on right now or wrapping up right now, is a pretty high-level meeting with the new governor of Missouri, also Speaker John Patterson, who's from Blue Springs, Jackson County representatives and Royals representatives talking about keeping the Royals in Jackson County. I don't have any information that the Chiefs are attending this meeting. None. In fact, the people that I'm talking to say they don't think the Chiefs are involved in this in any way. This is a Royals-specific meeting taking place in Jeff City, and that they're meeting trying to figure out what they can do in Jackson County and in the state of Missouri. As we get information on this, and I think John Patterson will be the point person, the Speaker of the House from Blue Springs. I think he'll probably be the point person speaking. As we get information, we'll pass it along to you. You may note that I didn't mention that Quentin Lucas is there. It is my understanding he's not. Maybe he had something else. Maybe he sneaked his way into it the last minute. I don't know, but I think it's noteworthy if Jackson County, the Royals, and the state are meeting without the mayor of Kansas City, Missouri. Mayor Lucas likes to be the face of all these things. He does a lot of media. He's a little Ward Cleaver for me. He wears the little sweater vest. Mark, you probably don't remember Leave It to Beaver. We got listeners remember that old show. Ward Cleaver would wear the sweater vests.
I remember it from Nick at Night.
There you go.
So I'd see the reruns.
There you go. I think, Mayor Q sometimes is like the least hip 40-year-old anywhere, but that's okay. He's playing a part. He's our mayor, and he's never liked me. And I, honest to God, don't know why. I'm gonna tell you the truth today. I'm gonna call for a truce. If he wants to come on the show, great. I don't care. If he doesn't want to come on the show, that's fine too. If he wants to meet for 15 minutes, if he wants to talk on the phone, I'd really like to talk this out. I would. I'd like to find out why he can't stand me, because I don't know. And I told Pete and Mark yesterday, honest to God, I think it's because he loves KU basketball so much. Most people that hated me on sports radio were KU basketball fans. They thought I was just inherently biased because I didn't go to Kansas or Missouri. I went to K-State, and I thought that put me in a nice position to not be in between those two factions doing war all those years. I think it's that. It could also be that I'm right a lot, and I tell the truth, and I say things that other people don't. And I know the mayor doesn't like that. He's a politician. He likes to gloss over things, use platitudes, use vague words, and this man is an Ivy school educated lawyer and doesn't say things specifically. I'm going to play a little cut from a radio show he appeared on. This is the very beginning of the interview. There was no question about me or the reports that we had. But remember, last week on KCMO Talk Radio, Pete Mundo broke the news that the Chiefs haven't started construction for the World Cup because they want $14 million out of the city. He also broke the news that Jackson County's legislature is filing a lawsuit against Frank White. And then I broke the story that Mark Donovan, the Chiefs president, has decided on the Legends. He just needs his owner's stamp of approval to move to Kansas. These are all things that were reported. Nobody at any of the entities discussed here, legislators, politicians, members of the Chiefs, nobody's refuted any of it. I didn't receive one text, email, or phone call from anybody that said, you're wrong, you got to correct that story. Everything we did was factual and right. And then it was backed up by John Sherman, the owner of the Royals, saying that he's got a deal all buttoned up. And Sean Tarwater, who's in the Kansas House of Representatives, saying to the rest of the committee that he was meeting with that one team is all but a done deal and the other is likely in Kansas, that they're just about done with one team and the other one there's a real good chance on. That was all reported on this radio station last week. And Mayor Quentin Lucas went on with Carrington Harrison, who, by the way, I think is the best and most talented sports talk show host in Kansas City, and it's a big gap. He knows what a story is. He's got a pleasant demeanor. He's fair. He's funny, and he has opinions. He talks about only things that people are interested in. He doesn't get bogged down in the minutia. He's terrific. He has a long-time relationship with the mayor as a regular guest on his show, and he had him on yesterday on 95.7 The Fan FM. This would have been about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Carrington shows in the afternoon. He had the mayor on, and out of nowhere, somehow, our reporting over here, and my name comes up.
Mayor Lucas, I look forward to whenever you come on the show. We got to find a better balance of good news and bad news to have you on. Normally when we have you on, there's normally some nonsense going on with the stadiums.
You know, there is always nonsense with the stadiums going on, but the funny thing is, as I was getting ready for this interview, I was trying to think, what has changed in the world, like officially, since you and I were talking in the summer when Star Bonds were passed, in April when the vote went down, and the thing is, you know, not a lot, at least in terms of official stuff. I'm cognizant of all the different, usually radio stories that come out of nowhere. I didn't even know Kietzman was still around, and I saw he had some stuff to say last week. You know, everybody's got 1,000 different rumors. The reality.
Okay, there were no rumors here. He knows that. That's why he calls it rumors. This is what Democrats do. There were no rumors here. In fact, the rest of the media in Kansas City have picked up on the story, not really credited us, and run with it, put it on social media, and they're taking credit for it. It's now just given as fact that apparently Quentin Lucas isn't accepting. And is he bragging as the mayor of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, to come on the air and say, nothing's really changed since last April when we got our ass kicked by 16 points in a vote to keep the Royals in Kansas City, Missouri, and the Chiefs? We got smoked by 16 points, and nothing's changed since then. That's your stance, Mayor Lucas? That's it. Mayor Q's stance is nothing has changed since last April. Well, let me tell you something. A lot has changed. And you're not in the meeting in Jeff City today. And the people in Kansas don't care about the meeting in Jeff City today. Why? If I were on your staff, Mayor, just run from this issue. You're going to be remembered as the mayor that lost both teams if you don't figure something out fast. This can still be done. They can stay in Jackson County. They can be kept. There's a possible way, I guess. There is no reason to believe that's coming to fruition. Not this time. And this is about to be the only time in my career covering sports in this town for close to 40 years where something really unique and different is going to happen. If these teams go to Kansas, that's different. Normally, it's just another crappy deal in Missouri. It's renovating the stadiums. The Royals had extra money left. They turned their outfield into a Smiley's driving range with a merry-go-round and a miniature softball course, park and putting course. You know, the things that they did to Kauffman Stadium with all that money was a joke. It's a big aluminum shed is what they did with the renovation. We don't do things right here very often. Let me tell you what we did do right, Mayor Lucas. While you were partying your brains out in college, I was here with Mayor Kay Barnes, and we did a 6-month campaign on the radio and signed up thousands of people and mobilized them as volunteers to get out the vote, to pass the vote for Sprint Center. because it was an automobile rental car tax, mostly of people out of town, and that was a hell of a great idea for building an arena downtown and doing great things for Kansas City. I worked with Mayor Kay Barnes. When that passed, the night it passed, she gave a speech. She thanked me personally and said she didn't know if it would pass if it hadn't been for Sports Radio 810 and the efforts of Kevin and his staff and all of their listeners to come out and do this. You want help on this? Come up with a plan. Be a leader. Be Kay Barnes. You've got nothing. You did an entire interview with nothing proposed and literally said nothing's changed since last April when you got smacked by 16 points. And you're sitting there smugly acting like no big deal. We're Kansas City, Missouri. We'll always have the teams. We'll have them. You're going to be known not as the mayor that took a knee on the plaza for social justice, not as the mayor who told us to stay home during COVID and you went to the lake with all those white chicks from Lee's Summit, hung out on a boat with no mask and took pictures on social media. Nope. Those were beauties. We remember those things. You're not going to be known for the murder rates. When it's all said and done, you lose these teams, all anybody's going to remember, not your airport with your transgender bathrooms and your artwork falling from the ceiling. None of those things. Not your potholes or your garbage pickup. People are going to forget all that. They're going to say, oh, yeah, Mayor Lucas, we remember that. He was the guy that lost the Royals and the Chiefs. One other note. 4 years ago when I started my podcast, Mayor Lucas responding on social media to liberals whose brains were exploding that this loser was going to have a podcast, another guy with a podcast, nobody will listen. It's not going to be a thing. I will credit Mayor Lucas. He said at the time, do not underestimate this guy. He's been around here a long time. I've got 125,000 subscribers to a local podcast. A lot of people listen to it, but not many liberals. He pointed out 4 years ago when I started, watch out, don't discount him. Then to go on the radio and say you didn't know I was still around. You know, once a month, you're in a headline of one of my podcasts, and you know that your staff listens. Don't lie to people. Don't go on the radio and lie. And don't call things rumors that are provably factual. Okay? Sean Tarwater spoke on the record. Factual. John Sherman spoke on the record. Factual. My reporting, Mark Donovan, wanting to go the legend. Factual. Everybody's followed up and run with this story. Don't do it. Your game is tired and old, and you know I've gone nowhere. You want to join the conversation? 913-408-7957. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled. 10 to 11 a.m. on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Check out KCMO Talk Radio everywhere you get social media and watch the show in studio. We're on. I need a haircut. That's a bad thing. But I don't even know how many people watch. But if you want to watch, today's a good day to watch because I just got a bounce in my step. I'm just excited. It's good to be back. It's good to be back on radio. It's good to be back doing what we do best. I think it's probably been, I know my old station hasn't broken a news story since I left. I know that to be true. So this is what the medium is to be. Yes, you want to host with opinions. You want to interact with, have great guests, bring callers on. We got to bring you information that nobody else is. Because we can't sit here all day and just complain about liberal media and they don't do this and they don't ask these questions. Pete asks phenomenal questions. He had the Johnson County guy on, Mike Kelly. Asked him, Mike Kelly, do I have that right? Yeah, Mike Kelly. Mike Kelly's also voiced the Tigers. Had a little brain mess up there. But he asked him phenomenal questions. Nobody else in the media is going to ask those questions of him like Pete did. That's the reason people want to listen. And hopefully I fit in here because Pete has built an unbelievable radio station and foundation. It's fun. This is fun. Let's go to the phones. Stephen is up in Kansas City. Hi, Stephen. Welcome to Uncanceled. Good morning to you.
Hey, Cam, what's going on, man? You're doing a great job. I'm a huge KU booster, and I love your show because I get to know what's going down. There's an old saying in World War II when the bomber pilots got over the target. You started getting flack. You're close to being a player in the story. You're a player in the story when the mayor starts putting up little barbs. So keep at it.
He used to do it all the time. I mean, he reveled in the fact that I ended my tenure at Sports Radio 810. Like he went crazy happy, like celebrating, popping champagne corks and stuff. And I didn't understand it. I know he was friends with some of the dudes at the other station or something. But I honestly felt like he was a KU basketball fan and just didn't like me. What's been amazing since I started my podcast and now doing this, almost every KU person I come in with contact with says, you know what, I didn't like you when you did sports, but I love you now, man. You're conservative. I love you. I'm like, see, there's some things bigger than winning a basketball game, aren't there?
It's totally true. I might count myself amongst those people, but it's just that the mayor knows that there's one less person on his tail. That what they're doing, I think they're just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic to throw Frank White under the bus here, and then Mayor Q can go take his job. And I think your reporting is absolutely correct. I think my gut tells me that the only thing we're haggling over here is whether it's going to be Sprint Campus or Legends for the Royals. And I would say Sprint might be better because it's closer to the fan base. I don't know whether you can make more money at the Legends, but man, you are right. I mean, my gut tells me, being in this town for so long, that Sprint Campus is going to come with a real good offer. But I think the Legends may win out in the end.
Excellent call. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And also know this: my wife loves me more now, too, that I'm doing this. She's a KU grad. So she loves me more now, too, just like all the other KU basketball fans. But it's all good. I don't have any information on a location for the Royals anywhere in the city. I got nothing. But see, I'm just going to sit here and be honest with you. I got no clue where the Royals are going. I know what Mark Donovan wants to do with the Chiefs, and I know what's been said on the record. So, and I'm not making predictions. Clark Hunt, obviously, they would have decided by now. If they 100% absolutely were going to the Legends with a new stadium, they could have easily decided this and had it done by now, and probably would have preferred to. So they're waiting to see if some sort of a Hail Mary from Jackson County in the state of Missouri will throw them a lifeline and give them something that maybe they didn't know they were going to get. Here's Kevin in Lee's Summit. Good morning, Kevin. What's up?
Morning, Kevin. I just wanted to say your take on Mayor Clinton Luke is spot on. I couldn't agree with you more, man. Longtime fan, listening to you. You're smart, witty, man, and you deliver well on all the topics. Man. Wanted to say you're doing a great job.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right. Is that it? All right. Take care, man. That's very kind. We got time here quickly for Leonard and Shawnee. What's up, Leonard?
Hey, not much, Keats.
right after that Carrington interview with the mayor, he said, "Who do you trust with all this going on?" And so I called up and I said, "You know what, Mr. Mayor, Kevin Kietzman's back, and he's back at 10 o'clock every morning. And I think all your listeners can put your trust in him because he comes with facts."
You called that show?
Yes, They said, we're taking callers. What you think? And I said, all the listeners out there, I'm answering your question, Carrington. I think the listeners that you have out there, they can put their trust with Kevin Kietzman because he comes with facts.
Well, that's very nice of you. I did not know that happened, Leonard. That's unbelievable. What did they say?
And they said, well, what do you think is going to happen with the Chiefs? And I said, I think the Chiefs are going to go to Kansas, and I think that Mark Donovan has a big, deal with that. And he said, well, why do you think that? And I said, because I think that the Chiefs are going to be going over there, and he took calls on that afterwards.
And that was Carrington you were talking to, or Mayor Q?
Carrington I was talking to.
Okay, Mayor Q was gone, right?
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah, I
and
got
I
you.
just told everyone, I said, Mr. Mayor, he's back, and he's back at 10 o'clock every morning.
Leonard, your check's in the mail, brother. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Have a good day.
Wait, that's such an old man thing. I need your Venmo number, Leonard. Come on, I'll Venmo you.
I got to go back and listen to see if they put the callers on their podcast.
I
now.
can't imagine they kept that up. I can't imagine a promotion for another show on another station made their podcast page afterwards. That clip we played was courtesy of 96.5, The Fan and Odyssey podcast. Uncanceled continues.
It's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Coming up at the top of the hour, the Dan Bongino Show. Boy, it's been a wild week again in Washington, D.C. Trump having his first cabinet meeting today with all of his secretaries, and Elon Musk will be there. It has been reported in many circles that Elon Musk isn't there to answer questions from the others. He's there to ask them, how much have you cut? What have you cut? Let's get an update. I do think they're starting to feel a little internal pressure that the number to this point is not big enough, that more money needs to be cut, and they need to make a big announcement. And I thought within maybe 30 days of this thing, 45 days, there would be some sort of big press conference. Here's all the things we've cut. Here's how much it adds up to. Maybe part of this is the budget proposal that the Republicans voted for yesterday, everyone but Thomas Massie. This is remarkable. Every single Democrat voted against it. It includes no taxes on tips. Wait for it. No tax on Social Security income. And no tax on overtime if you want to hustle and make extra money. So these are a slippery slope. I know that. You're picking and choosing people to not tax. It is a slippery slope. But it's also saying, not just to the people that benefit and then, of course, others don't. What my interpretation is, it's saying to everyone, we're on our way to phasing this number down for everyone or phasing it out altogether. We went 150 years in this country with no income tax. We can do it again, or at least take it down to where it's 5% or 10% of what you make. I've seen most flat tax proposals are somewhere between 17 and 21%. Okay, flat tax sounds great to me. Seems impossible to pass, whatever. But this to me is a gradual process. And by finding these people in categories that you can't take shots at these people, the Democrats can't fire arrows at gig economy workers out there working for tips. You can't get on retirees. This is going to be a big boost for a lot of retirees on Social Security to have no tax on Social Security. And if you want to take shots at, let's say, a 32-year-old guy with 2 babies at home and the wife works full-time and he works full-time, and they're trying to make it all work and they're saving to buy a house, and he takes on an extra 15 or 20 hours a week overtime to save up money and do good and do right by his family, and that's not going to be taxed, and now there's an incentive to maybe work even more overtime and make and save more money, good luck. Whose side are you on? You run around and you say, Republicans want to get rid of Social Security, Medicaid. Well, no. This budget proposal does not have the word Medicaid in it anywhere. I don't know how many pages it is, 50 pages long? Looked like to me. The word Medicaid is not in there. The word Social Security is in there because they're basically giving a raise to everyone on Social Security. There will be no tax on it, which means we could also slow the growth every year of the cost of living adjustment on Social Security, which would help the program. It would reduce costs there. There's so many moving pieces and so many things going on. I don't know how. The Democrats have just decided across the board, middle finger, we're not voting yes for anything. I don't get it. Why wouldn't you have a news conference say, you know what, some of this makes sense. They want to cut $2 trillion out of the budget. That makes a lot of sense. I'm for that. These other groups over here, not taxing them, that kind of makes sense. We're on board with that. They just can't do it. At some point, they're going to have to give the other side some wins because the only thing they stand for is crushing things. They want to break things. They want to tear things down. They want to say no. They're obstructionists. That's all they do. They either break it or block it. That's all they do. They don't come up with anything that works or anything that benefits you. And how about the gold card program? This might be my favorite of all the Trump things. We have green cards in the United States. It's a visa program called the EB-5. Doesn't matter what it's called, but that's what it is. You come here, we know what a green card is. You're allowed to work for a certain period of time. You follow the rules. We know who you are. You're going to pay some taxes, and you can help your family out and maybe work a pathway towards citizenship. Trump says we're going to have 2 cards. We're going to have a green card, and then we're going to have a gold card. The gold card that he wants to implement is any foreign person that we fully vet can come here, and for $5 million, they can get the gold card and have a fast pass to becoming a citizen. Now, if your threshold is $5 million, you're getting some of the richest, wealthiest, smartest, most successful people in the world. If they want to come be citizens here, they likely want to own and operate businesses or work for an American company where they'd be an executive and make a pile of money and pay a whole bunch of taxes. I'm trying to find the downside in this. I'm sure we got some math whizzes in the audience, so don't hold me to this, but there are 58 million millionaires in the world. The United States has 22 million, about 30% of them. 8.5% of our country has a net worth of $1 million or more. China's right behind the United States. Then it's France, United Kingdom, Germany, Canada, Japan, Australia, Italy. There's millionaires everywhere. These people want to come here. It's $5 million a person. You got a family of 4. You're really rich and successful in your country. Let's say you live in Germany and you've decided it's time to move to America and take your family there. $20 million, you're in. It goes straight to the Treasury against the deficit, all the money we own. So we're going to pay that down. If you get 100,000 people that do this, that's $500 billion. But if you get 1 million people to do it, which we can handle, we're sending 20 million home, or however many we're going to send home, we can handle 1 million new people, especially the most successful, smart people in the world. You do an influx of 1 million people that are all multimillionaires into this country. I described it like this on my podcast. If you think of clubs like Mar-a-Lago Club or a country club, all the elite people want to join these famous things. They want to be in Davos. They want to be in these elite groups. That's who we are in the United States. We are the elite group. There's hundreds of nations. We're at the top. If you want to join this exclusive club, it's going to cost you. And you got to bring something to the table. And if you come here with your family of 4 and drop 20 million in the till, we'll take you. And if, there's a large if you got 1 million people to do that, by my math, again, my iPhone calculator didn't go out this far, so I used some program online. That's $5 trillion down on the money that we owe to our national debt. That's a remarkable number. I don't know what will happen, how many millionaires are going to come here and want to buy their way into this country for $5 million. And we certainly have to vet out the cartel leaders and the terrorists and the really bad people in the world that have become very, very wealthy by being bad people. But I think we're capable of doing that. I think it's a really, really, really cool idea. I like it a lot. 913-408-7957 is the number to call on Uncanceled. And this is Keith in Cameron, Missouri. Hello, Keith. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. Hey, little comment on your Social Security no tax. So I don't know if it was you that said it or if it's part of the plan, but the cost of living adjustment is a joke.
Well, wait. I believe my mom's last year was 11%.
Okay.
Who do you know that got an 11% raise last year other than someone on Social Security?
Not me, and I'm on Social Security.
What'd you get?
I think I got 7.
Well, maybe it was the year before it was 11, coming out of COVID.
My number. So the actual cost of living increased over 20% over the last 4 years when I started. All right. And I am not making 20% more on my Social Security.
Okay. So you got a cost of living adjustment each year, correct?
I didn't get one the first year.
Okay. So 3 years.
That was because it came out right before I actually got put on Social Security.
Okay.
I'm a disabled law enforcement officer.
And okay, so first of all, I can't thank you enough for your service. We really mean that here. We don't just say that, we mean it.
Right.
And
I know.
What's going on out there in the rest of the country is nobody's getting the equivalent to the cost of living adjustment that's in Social Security. People that work here in this building, people that work everywhere, they're not getting 10% raises every year. They're not. That's not what the real world has been during this inflationary time. Nobody's keeping up. So it may not be enough. I understand that. I understand Social Security may not be enough, and we can talk about the system and how it should work or what it should be. And if you have a net worth of a certain amount, maybe you don't qualify for any of it. I'm open to discuss any of this. But my mom's 91, and she's been on it forever. My dad died in 99, and she has, through the years, been very happy with the cost of living adjustments that she's gotten, and she does just fine.
My experience doesn't seem to be the same.
That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So, anyway.
All right, Keith.
Have a great day.
Hang in there. You have a pension as well?
If you can call it that. It's a state pension and, a couple $100 a month that covers the insurance.
And you were a law enforcement officer?
State, not highway patrol, corrections.
Okay. And how many years did you do that?
15.
And you get $200 a month as a pension?
After I get all my insurance pulled out and everything like that, yes. I don't get much.
Wow.
The state Department of Corrections pensions are pathetic. Their pay has been pathetic.
I'll believe you on that. I know that pay is an issue, Department of Corrections. Absolutely, we all recognize that. Man, I'm unbelievably sorry to hear that. I've never heard of anybody with a state pension that only makes $200 a month.
I've gone 4 years because of who the governor was without a raise. That's how bad it was. And so when your pension is based on how much money you make, it's pathetic.
All right, Keith. I appreciate your call. You hang in there, man, okay?
Hey, not a problem.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you calling the show.
Starting a new life.
Okay, good enough. Go get it, man. Go crush it. You'll find a way. I got to look into that a little bit. That is an unbelievably low number. I've never heard of anything quite like that from people who worked for the state, either in Kansas or Missouri. I don't know about other states, but I've never heard of anything quite that low. All right, we'll come back. We got a couple of good topics with Mark today, or if you'd like to join us, 913-408-7957. You're listening to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
Kevin Kietzman is Uncanceled and back on Kansas City Radio. 10 to 11 a.m. on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Hey, you might remember a couple of weeks ago we played an awesome song by a band called Matfield Green and had Jackson Gulick on the show. He's a local artist, and they wrote a song called Touchdown Kansas City. He is back home for a few days in the Kansas City area. He lives in Nashville, and he's going to be playing guitar and singing tonight at Old Shawnee Pizza in Lenexa. That's at K10 and Woodland Road from 6 until 9. If you want to get a slice or go by and say hi or tell him you like his song or hear him play, it's free. Jackson Gulick tonight from 6 until 9 p.m. at Old Shawnee Pizza in Lenexa. That's K10 and Woodland Road. I was just sent something by somebody I've known for a long time, and I know this is 1,000% legit, and I've got the attachment and was unaware of this. Tomorrow in committee in Topeka, the Kansas Senate will be discussing passage of Bill number 108, which is an act concerning taxation, authorizing counties to impose an earnings tax, amending Kansas Senate Act 2024, blah, 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 numbers, and repealing the existing section. Oh, boy. This is believed to be for Wyandotte County to put an earnings tax in to maintain the facility if they build a new stadium at the Legends. This would be the funds that they would have to go toward maintaining the facility if it becomes a county, technically county facility. Like Jackson County owns the stadiums now. This would be Wyandotte County owning the stadium. They could have an earnings tax that would derive all the revenue sources to take care of the stadiums over time. I hate earnings taxes. I hate income taxes. I'd rather see a sales tax bump of an 8% or something like that used for this. That's me, because then that's the people that don't live in Wyandotte County coming to your games and being taxed and letting them pay for it. I don't like this, but there's an obvious reason why this is happening now. They're clearing the way for Johnson County, Wyandotte County, any other county in Kansas to try to lure a team and have support through an earnings tax for people that work there. And that would include, for example, Josh Allen. He comes and plays 1/17 of his salary. That county would get 1% of that game that he came and played. Visiting players pay it as well. So maybe that's why they like to do it, and maybe there's special exemptions on how they want to apply this thing. But I largely don't like earnings tax. I think Kansas City, Missouri's earnings tax has been problematic for it business-wide. Business-wise, I know the Chiefs hate it. I know they hate it. They hate having the earnings tax. So I don't know how this lines up with the Chiefs. This might be more of a Royals play here. So I don't know which county it's for. I just know that Kansas is about to put forth in committee and try to pass a law on earnings taxes, changing the law for earnings taxes in counties. And you know this is about stadiums. That's not about anything else. There's no way it's about anything else. Imagine that. They're actually doing things in Kansas, Mark. Actually doing things. Did you see any of the Missouri game last night?
I did not. I saw the score, though, and it looked crazy.
Wow, 101 points. My goodness. Caleb Grill's playing great. They just play defense and steal the ball and get easy baskets at a rate that's crazy. I'm an idiot. All I meant to do all day yesterday was put in a bet on Missouri, and I got busy, and I texted my wife, and I made notes, and last night it's 8:15 or 8:20, and the game's already started, and I look, and I'm like, oh, no. They're already up 15 points. The line was 13. I got no action in. That was the freest of free money. When Missouri plays at home against teams that aren't good, bet the Tigers. They're killing these teams. What was it, 101-71? What a beatdown. Man, they're playing great. That's awesome. The Royals yesterday, the game started like this. Jonathan India was hit by a pitch. Bobby Witt Jr. singled. Vinny doubled. It's 2-0. They wind up scoring 4 in the first inning, 4-0 lead. They were the visiting team. Jack Caglione had 2 more hits for the Royals, who's the next big thing in this organization. But I love getting hit by a pitch. The Royals scored 15 runs, had 22 hits, and took 7 walks, and got hit by a pitch. I've watched the Royals for far too long not take hit by pitch. Take it. Get the free base. There's only one job in baseball. Don't make an out.
Alex Gordon was the best at
it.
The
best. It was great. You know who else was good? Nicky Lopez. But he struck out and didn't draw a lot of walks because they threw strikes at him.
Yeah.
Like they had to miss to hit Nicky Lopez. They weren't nibbling, right? So, guys, take the hit by pitch.
I love this Royals team already, man.
I know. It's kind of fun. The whole thing is just don't get hit. La Genie, France has a village and resort with a golf course and a beach. It's a naturist course. I don't know. I mean, this is all new to me. Of course, they have birds and animals and all these things. That's not what naturist is now, apparently.
I think I know where this is going.
Where do you think it's going?
Like nudist?
It's a nudist resort. That's exactly right. It is the only one in the world with a golf course where you can play the 6 holes. It's par 20. And if you go to their site, it's La Jenny, like you'd spell Jenny, Jenny. There's just pictures of naked people playing golf on their website in France. It's family friendly, and they have bike riding. What?
I'm not bike riding in the nude. No way.
There is no chance I'm bike riding in the nude in France. Have a great day. Dan Bongino's up next.